That's how I told y'all need the music. Don't let the ass out of food.
And say, yes, boss. Yeah, boss, please tell us how us good black people, how we need to act and behave in order to go forward.
I'm done with life, and it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. I'm done.
What's going on, everybody? AB Media 83 here, and welcome to my Colosseum Daily. Today, I'm going to be addressing some, how can I say this, some butthurt blues, no matter whose. If y'all haven't been paying attention, there are some disgruntled Democrats, as I would like to call them, that have been making a whole bunch of videos talking about low information. And believe it or not, I've been the star of some of these videos. And in fact, they are actually clips from my live streams. And they're essentially they're just butt hurt and blue because, well, Kamala lost. Ain't nothing they can do about it. So, before I get to my main content, let me just show you what I'm talking about. Let's see. All right, let's see here. There we go. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. The butt hurt, and I do mean butt hurt, brain trust, has been making an awful lot of content off my videos. As you can see, they've named it. I know y'all can't see that, but they've named these videos low information. Let's just take a look at some of these. Let's see, which one do I want to go with? Let's start with this one. And as you can see, it's not them talking about what I'm talking about. It's them just playing my video, calling it low information. You see my logo there on the end, and here we go.
Of classrooms is because you can then misuse words like oppression. There has been no oppression for the white man in this country. You tell me which white men were dragged out of their homes. You tell me which one of them got
but what does that have to do with DEI?
dragged all the way across an ocean?
To feel sorry for us when you do this around white folks. Because I mean, as far as that caliber over there, because she's appealing to them to feel sorry for.
But as you can see, they have a bunch of clips on low information. They're upset. They thought Kamala Harris should have won, and well, she didn't. Not that petty, but you know. What's going on, Snowman? But yeah, they've been claiming a lot that low information, that we didn't know what we were talking about, which brings me to the subject of this video. I actually found a clip of a Democrat who sounds just like me. And not only does she, and yes, I did mean she sounds just like me. since we're part of Black Manosphere and they said all we do is hate on Black women. Well, hear from a Black woman on why Kamala Harris lost, and let's play the clip.
Kamala Harris and the Democrats got their heads knocked between the washer and the dryer. They lost. I think we need to have a discussion about what do.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, keep in mind, this is an insider. She was at the Democratic National Convention, so yeah.
Do the Democrats even stand for? But okay,
Sweetheart, I've been asking that for years. What do they stand for? I've told them for years, and this is not just really addressed to Mike in particular, but I've told Butthurt Blues for years. When you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything, which is why Kamala Harris pushed abortion so hard. I've never seen a candidate push abortion like that. But according to certain people, I'm just low information, right?
Let me back this up even further. I bet you're wondering how I got here right now. That was me when I was in Pennsylvania, when I was in Milwaukee. So I was flying around from swing state to swing state. I live in a swing state. I live in Georgia. And I was talking to insiders. I went to the Democratic National Convention in Chicago.
You hear that? This is from an insider.
Talking to politicians, Democratic strategists, and I have thoughts after all that about what happened with the election. My first one is going to be controversial. Actually, all of these will probably be controversial. Again, why am I making this video? Please try not to jump me too bad in the comment section. But my first one is I do think that Joe Biden should have stepped down.
Yes. See, we're not the only ones who thought Joe Biden should have stepped down. It was clearly he was having cognitive issues and he needed to step down.
2 years ago, quite frankly, not quit the presidency, but I think he should have said that he was not going to run for president in 2024 and should have begun priming somebody in that time.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. It felt as though the insiders, the people around him, were hiding his condition. And when he did that debate, the disastrous debate, the shit show of a debate, I don't know what else to call it, they couldn't hide it any further. And it just became painfully obvious. So then the media hits started coming from his own.
I never will forget the reaction of the media once that debate concluded. You could see this. You could see the panic on their face. There was like, "Oh shit!" You could just see the panic on their face, and but I'm just a low information voter, right? I've been telling them what she's talking about. I've been telling Democrats shit like this for years.
Own party, and by media hits, I mean the backstabbing, the you need to step down, the trash talking came from his own party. They were talking to the media behind his back and giving anonymous quotes saying, "Oh, we're going to say this on background," which means that they were saying that, but they didn't want their name and they didn't want their identity to be revealed. And it's like, okay, why didn't you say this 2 years ago? He should have been a transitional president. When he was elected in office, people weren't excited. Most people weren't excited to elect.
Yes, nobody was excited for Joe Biden. Well, maybe a few people, but the majority was not excited for Joe Biden. I don't know why some of these butthurt blues run around acting like their shit don't stink. I mean, seriously. But this is a Democrat. What's going on, me? This is a Democrat insider, and she sounds awfully familiar. I'm just saying.
It's Joe Biden.
How is the best case scenario Joe Biden?
And when what else do the Democrats have? But the Democrats didn't have anything else. He ran again. And when it became painfully obvious that he couldn't be successful, there was a chart that was released that apparently the Biden administration knew that he was going to get whooped.
Yes, a chart came out. The insiders, if Biden had stayed in the race, Biden's own camp admitted that Trump would have got over 400 electoral votes. He got 312. If Biden had stayed in, the internal poll numbers showed Trump would have got over 400 votes. Also, Kamala Harris insiders have came out and said that she was never in the lead. It was all a mirage. They were lying the whole time when they were talking about she was in the lead in the polls. Those polls were made up. But anyway, let's continue. And remember, this is a Democrat insider telling you this.
The election, like dog piled, but they kept running him, and that's frustrating. So what happened then is that Kamala Harris became the nominee, and truthfully, I feel like she was 100% set up to fail. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez did this Instagram live where she was saying, don't be so sure that the Democratic insiders even want Kamala Harris to be the nominee, right? Don't be so sure.
They didn't. It's well known now that Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi did not want Kamala Harris. There's no disputing that now. But a couple other more powerful people wanted Kamala Harris. And that other side won out, unfortunately. But let's continue.
Or that she's going to be the one because they don't really support her. And I think that was clear.
I'm going to say what a lot of these folks aren't saying. If you think that there is consensus among the people who want Joe Biden to leave, that they will support Vice President Harris, you would be mistaken.
I think she was essentially sent out like a sacrificial lamb to the slaughter. Mm-hmm. And strategists were telling her that she could win in a landslide. Strategists were telling us that she was going to win in a landslide. I mean, the entire night of the election, I was in some of these groups talking about the red wave. They were saying that, oh, it's a red mirage. It's a red mirage. Don't worry.
Now, my question to the butthurt brain trust is, are you going to call this Democrat insider low information too? She's saying stuff I've been telling the Democrat Party for years. Are y'all going to go say they're low information too? I'm asking for a friend, as Art Newstall would say.
The Democrats are going to come back, baby. It wasn't a mirage. It was a red sweep. There was nothing mirage-like.
Oh, but if you listen to people like DC and Mike V, oh, it was close. It was close. Now, remember, this is a Democrat insider telling you this. Not one of us Black Manosphere YouTube. This is a Democrat insider and a Black woman at that. But you know, I thought we hate Black women. We don't take advice from any Black woman around here, right? Right. By the way, I got 20 watching. Like, share, subscribe, hit my Cash App, support the show, hit the super chat, support the show. Let's continue.
Like about it. It was real, and Republicans won all the swing states.
Yep. No doubt about it.
But I do think that the Democratic Party, the issues with the Democratic
No, I'll let that play.
Party go beyond just this one loss. For months, like I was saying earlier, voters are saying that they're worried about immigration and the economy, immigration and the economy, immigration and the economy. Every time you knock on somebody's door, oh, well, you know, milk prices are high.
And shout out to Skeletor, James Carville. He had it right the first time. It's the economy, stupid.
Egg prices are high. I do think that the cost of goods will increase under a Trump presidency. I hope they don't. I do think that. But that doesn't counter the fact that people felt like currently under the Biden-Harris administration, their lives were harder and that they were struggling to make ends meet.
Yes.
And Democrats, instead of addressing that, kept saying, well, we have to save we have to save democracy from Donald Trump. But then when Trump won, this is another issue about the Democrats. Again, we get to this question of they have kind of this wishy-washy message because they kept saying that Trump was going to destroy democracy. He was going to destroy everything. And then he got elected and Democrats were like, well, congratulations. we played a good game, but you won fair and square. It's like, is this person a threat to democracy or not? Because it's not giving that. Because it seems like y'all are like, well, it's fine. We'll just try again in another 4 years. So this whole time, though, you had been priming people to think that there will no longer be elections if Donald Trump wins. Like, what's going on here? You really shouldn't ignore the economic anxiety argument. And I get that some people are not receptive to this because they feel like individuals say economic anxiety when really they just mean we don't want to vote for a Black woman. We don't want to vote for a woman. We don't want to vote for a minority woman. But surely everybody is not saying economic anxiety to hide these other bigoted feelings. I don't think that's true. Some people are in food deserts. Rent prices are high. People are really struggling to make ends meet on a day-to-day basis. And if you look at the
all stuff I have said to butthurt blues all the time, but you know, Trump bad. Thank you, Dan M for the Cash App. Let's continue.
The macro level might say, oh, inflation is cooling, right? This is a long-term plan, or food prices are going to go down, or rent prices are going to go down. If you look at this chart shows that food prices are actually on an incline, or a decline to decrease, and the 2.47 and the stock market. Nobody want to hear about that. People on a micro level, regular people door to door, don't want to hear about whatever you have to say about that chart over there, what the numbers say, what the stock market is doing.
Duh. So what you gonna do now, butthurt blue? This is a Democrat insider telling you this shit. Not a Black manosphere dude. This is a Democrat insider telling you. No one wants to hear, oh, the economy's doing great when grocery prices are through the fucking roof.
People are worried.
Let's play this again so the butthurt, just in case the butthurt blue can't hear.
Check the chart shows that food prices are actually a day-to-day basis. And if you look at the macro level might say, oh, inflation is cooling, right? This is a long-term plan, or food prices are going to go down, or rent prices are going to go down. If you look at this chart shows that food prices are actually on an incline, or a decline to decrease, and the 2.47 and the stock market. Nobody want to hear about that. People on a micro level, regular people door to door, don't want to hear about whatever you have to say about that chart over there, what the numbers say, what the stock market is doing. People are worried about the check that they're bringing in or not bringing in, and concerned about how they're not making enough money, which I really ultimately think the true issue is about how they're not making enough money to have a steady living. I think the Democrats really struggle.
Yes.
Struggle with meeting people where they are.
Oh, that's an understatement, but yeah.
So people are like, oh, I can't afford rent. And the Harris campaign might be like, oh, well, we're actually going to give you a small business tax credit.
Exactly.
Thanks. But in my immediate future, my immediate need is I am struggling on my day-to-day. And the Harris campaign is like, don't worry, we're actually going to write this policy. You see what I mean? And the Democrats focused a lot on reproductive justice. And I think reproductive justice is important. That is something that's highly, highly important to me. That goes without saying. If you watch.
Like I said, this is a Democrat insider. I don't agree with the reproductive crap, but you know, this is a Democratic insider telling y'all why she lost. And it wasn't white rage.
Some of my other content, but the thing is, it's not that reproductive justice wasn't important. People really cared about that, but they didn't care about it over putting food on their table, right? Their immediate needs were housing, shelter. So they didn't care about the reproductive justice to the point where they would vote for you for president. And what you actually saw was people split the vote. So these reproductive justice initiatives were successful. The majority of them, whenever people are able to vote about a reproductive justice issue, the votes are usually positive. So you saw that happening, but at the same time, you saw people not voting for Kamala Harris at the top of the ticket because they just didn't agree with the other policies. And I think people were confused about how could you vote for reproductive justice, but then vote against Kamala Harris? And I think that's where you saw the clash. And that brings me to another point, and that point is every minority group has shifted right a little bit.
Yep. It's another big problem the Democrats have. They think that they can just talk to minority groups any kind of way, and then we'll go out and vote for them. Yeah, that's not what happened at all.
Particularly in this election, every minority right group has shifted right a little bit. I'm not saying that that means shifted right extremely. We know that Black voters voted in a high percentage for Kamala Harris and for Democrats and consistently have. But that doesn't mean that a portion that Trump Republicans in general have slowly been eating into that voter block. And Republicans have been picking up votes across all minority groups. And for me, I think Democrats, the lesson they need to learn is that they do not have minority groups on lock. Democrats, I think, tend to look at minority groups as a monolith and think, well,
sadly, they do.
We know that Black people, for example, are going to vote for us regardless, and they need to stop thinking that. There's a growing.
Well, they fucked around and find out. I didn't vote for Kamala Harris. But that sounds like a personal problem. Anyway. Let us continue.
Growing frustration that Democrats take Black voters for granted, take minority voters for granted, and don't have to do a lot to earn the vote. And they absolutely do have to earn the vote, whether they like it or not. I see sometimes my comment section will say, well, Republicans don't have to earn votes. I mean, Democrats do. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, just because you don't like the state of the race.
Yeah. It's not my obligation to vote for the Democrat Party. My ancestors didn't die for my right to vote for the Democrat Party, Roland. My ancestors died for my right to choose who and when I vote, which is why a lot of Black folk voted for the couch. There ain't nothing y'all can, and ain't nothing you butthurt blues can do about that.
Race doesn't mean that that's not the state of the race. And I actually do think that Republicans have to earn votes. And I do think that they kowtow or they bend over to the will of their base, whether that's good or bad.
Yes. That's one of the reasons why people are switching to the Republican Party, because the Republican Party actually listens to their base from time to time. And doesn't force their base to just totally kiss their ass. Something you might want to think about, you Democrats, knuckleheads.
I absolutely do think that Republican candidates campaign and do what needs to be done to convince voters to vote for them. When it comes to immigration, we can also talk about how Democrats also sometimes appear to treat a group as a monolith. If you talk to a Latino voter, for example, and you start talking to them about immigration and deportation, that's not going to hit the way you think it hits. For one, if the voter is a Latino voter, obviously they're an American citizen, because you can't vote unless you're a citizen. And so you're talking to that person about deportation. They're not at risk of deportation. They're a United States citizen. You know what I mean? Again, you're treating people as a monolith. You're acting as though Latino voters don't care about the economy, just like everybody else who lives in America.
Yeah. Not only that, you probably didn't help yourself with Latinos by calling them Latinx, a term nobody heard about until like 2020. Nobody's ever heard about it. I never seen a Latino person mention Latinx until 2020. You're like, you need to call Latinos. Democrats came out with this dumb shit. You need to call Latinos Latinx. One of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. But anyway, I digress.
Right? This is, again, it's a disconnect that Democrats have, just treating an entire voting block of people as though they all care about one thing. And it's just not true. Democrats, you're going to have to work on that. And when you talk about the Democrats and their campaign strategy, oftentimes they come across as just the party that opposes the Republicans. Like, oh, we are always trying to play defense against the Republicans and not going on offense. And I do think that Kamala Harris throughout her campaign tried to switch that a little bit. But I don't really think we see that a lot with the Democrats. They're all
What is Democrats' excuse? What's Democrats' excuse always when they can't get something done? Oh, what's their excuse? Oh yeah, but the Republicans wouldn't let us. Oh my gosh! But the Republicans, but Trump. Project 2025 is coming. Most of y'all talking about Project 2025 haven't even read it, so shut up.
Always talking about, oh man, we tried to pass this bill, but the Republicans, they stopped us. What are we going to do now? The Republicans keep obstructing us. And it's like, girl, if the Republicans have that much power, people are going to be like, why?
Yeah, why would I vote for you if you keep on losing to Republicans? Why would I vote for you when you keep bending over for the Republicans? I said what I said. Why should we vote for you whenever you bring your policies up, you go bend over for the Republicans? Why the hell should I vote for you? If you're going to do that, I might as well vote for the Republican.
Why are we voting for you? Clearly, the Republicans get the job done. So we don't understand why we're even voting for you in the first place. You understand? Even when it comes to the border bill, Democrats were consistently like, well, we tried to put up this border bill and Donald Trump, he called his people and he got the border bill not to pass. Stink. If Donald Trump is that powerful when he's not even in office, what
exactly?
You think people aren't going to vote for him? He's clearly showing that he can run things even when he's not in office. You know what I mean? So they have to stop.
And I made this point during the election. What does it say about your candidate that Donald Trump has more power and you're the sitting vice president and president on the immigration bill? Oh, you said so. You thought it was smart to say Donald Trump wouldn't let the immigration bill get passed. Excuses, 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 excuses. That's all the Democrat Party is built on now is excuses. Nobody wants to hear that shit.
Stop coming across as just we're trying to stop Republicans and get more conviction. But also, and I want to hit it harder again, what do you stand for? Because when Democrats are out of office, they're like, wow, Republicans, we shouldn't call anyone illegal. We should call people undocumented immigrants, or we think that everybody should at least have some sort of opportunity to come inside. And we want to go and be open and kumbaya, all that good stuff. And then they get in office, Democrats get in office, and they're like, actually, you immigrants, hit the road, Jack. Don't come. Get out of here. We actually want to be more strict on the border.
I want to be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come. Do not come.
I'm sorry, I can't help myself. I don't think that's the first time she said that phrase. I'm just saying. Yeah, let's move on before I get myself in trouble.
We stand on with everyone in certain marginalized communities, right? We want to be on your side, and then they're in office and they're like, Republicans, maybe they were kind of eating a little bit on a couple of these topics. And again, it's like, okay, well, there's already a Republican in the race. If there's already a Republican in the race, I don't need to vote for you. I'll just vote for the Republican. People talk about, oh, the Democrats, they needed to go more left, more right. We could truly debate about that all day. But I do think that identity is shifting in America, whereas a lot of people in years prior identified in terms of their racial class, white, black, whatever. And I think people still do that, certainly to a extent, maybe even to a high extent. But I also think that people identify more so with their working class, and people, whether they want to buck the system or go along with the status quo, continue along with the status quo. I think that's something that people really are connecting with these days. And when Democrats represent more of the status quo, when they align more with things being like they used to be as they were prior, that's a problem for people, because people don't want establishment. People don't trust the establishment. People don't like the establishment.
For a good reason. People do not like the establishment. Yeah, yeah. We'll discuss that in another stream.
And Democrats represent the establishment, and they've got to separate. Democrats do exceptionally well with college educated people, suburban people. I think they do well. I think Kamala Harris did well. Decently with white voters, college educated people across the spectrum. And that's not the majority of America, right?
Actually, to her credit, she probably was fun. You can't deny Kamala Harris wasn't fine. Kamala Harris was fine back in the day. There's no disputing that. Now she's hit the wall now. She still got some leg, but she still got a little leg, but she didn't hit the wall down. But Kamala Harris was fine back in the day. So yeah, let's continue.
And so again, you are focusing on this demographic that is not going to be the majority of your voting base. And you need to get out and you need to talk to more people, working class people. And the Democrats are being seen as the party of the elites and not the party of the working class. That is a messaging issue that Democrats need to deal with.
Yep.
We have to also get into the media strategy a little bit. And I'm still formulating my full thoughts and opinions on this because I do think that Kamala Harris went a lot of places. Some people are criticizing Kamala Harris, saying that she didn't go everywhere. For example, she didn't go on the Joe Rogan podcast. And obviously that's a it's what is it, like the #1 podcast, period. Very popular podcast to go on. And she didn't go there. She couldn't go to him. I think she asked for him to go to her because she was campaigning for like 100 days. She didn't have that much time and it fell through. He ended up endorsing Trump, which he probably would have endorsed Trump regardless. I really don't think if she interviewed with him, he would have not endorsed Trump. But that's one of the critiques that people have. I don't really have that critique, but I will say that you saw, I think, Donald Trump hitting the non-traditional media landscapes a lot more. You saw him going on those podcasts, spending hours with those podcasts. He really doesn't talk to traditional media much. He doesn't really like traditional media. You saw Kamala Harris and Tim Walz doing a decent amount of traditional media, not too much. I don't think traditional media overshadowed the other media. And I do think that they did shun traditional media for a while in the beginning, which I think was correct for them to do. But I don't think that they hit the non-traditional media outlets as much as Trump did. And I think Democrats should change that. You also see that this information ecosystem on the right side is much more powerful than what the Democrats have. This is something that certainly concerns me. I don't know if the Democrats themselves need to put more money into it or if they need somebody else to put more money into it, because I quite frankly don't know who's funding all of these Republican, these right-wing channels and platforms. I don't know if there are outside agitators, I'm going to put it that way, forming them. But I do think that this disparity has helped Trump win the messaging war, and Democrats need to get more creative, think outside the box. And by that, I don't mean hiring, college educated the Democratic strategist who they've been hiring forever. I think they really need to clean house, get new strategists and new people on board. I think if Democrats.
They need to fire all the Democrat strategists. And I do mean all of them. They just need to clean the floor. They just need to wipe the floor. It's not going to happen, I know. But they need to wipe the floor of all their strategists. I'm just saying.
Continue on their same path. They have an affinity for losing. And
yes, they do. The Democrats have had affinity for losing for well over 20 years. There's no doubt about that.
That's unusual for any person. In 2024, we saw a complex list of challenges: economic anxiety, immigration concerns, right? People are concerned about the border, whether you think that's true or not. And all these issues came to a head. The Democratic Party certainly has an uphill battle ahead of them. I don't think it's an insurmountable battle, because I don't think that this was a referendum completely on the Democratic Party, as they did lose. But I don't think that Trump was so popular that Democrats can't come back, but they have to learn the lessons. And I'm afraid they won't learn the lessons, because if you look at MSNBC, CNN, they're blaming all the same.
Oh, we're going to get to MSNBC in just a little bit, but yeah. MSNBC's falling apart, folks. Whether Butthurt Blue likes that or not, MSNBC's falling apart.
Same old stuff. And I'm like, I fear y'all are going to be losers forever. But the Democratic Party can chart a path forward. But I really think
let's see. Yeah.
key issue, the key thing that they're going to have to understand or figure out is what do they stand for?
Yep. I've asked Democrats for years when you what do Democrats stand for? Nobody can give me an answer.
Okay, I think there were a couple big mistakes and something.
We're gonna look at this one first. Now, this of course is Sabby Sabs, and she's gonna talk about how there's chaos at MSNBC.
So you know how like MSNBC has been struggling with their ratings since Kamala lost the presidential election? That's just the tip of the iceberg.
And yeah, go give Sabby Sabs a like and subscribe. He's a good source for political information.
After that, we saw this, I guess, confession.
Also, Sabby Sabs is a real progressive, unlike the butthurt brain trust. I said what I said.
From Mika and Joe Scarborough, where they were saying that they went to go hang out with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. Like, we wanted to have a conversation with him because we wanted to, try to work together. Conversation could have happened over the phone, but I digress. They got a lot of pushback for that because of all the things that they said about Trump over the years, calling him Hitler, saying he's a fascist, and all this kind of stuff. People kind of looked at them as hypocritical. They're like, oh, so now you can go hang out with Trump at Mar-a-Lago and have dinner, but all this time you called his supporters names, you called him Hitler. Yep. Does that make you Hitler too? You guys get the point. Well, now it appears that there has been something brewing behind the scenes at MSNBC as well, and that is among the staff.
Where's Snowman without need him? Dun, dun, dun.
It appears that apparently Rachel Maddow is also not happy with Mika and Joe, and she has some
oh no, not that dude. Let me shut up. Look, not that dude, Rachel Maddow.
Some things to say. Now we're going to go ahead and bring this in here. It's a hot mess, ladies and gentlemen. Hot mess. MSNBC descends into civil war as Rachel Maddow turns on Morning Joe hosts for bending the knee to Donald Trump. You can't make this up, fam. It's getting juicy up in here. MSNBC anchor Rachel Maddow is reportedly furious with her Morning Joe colleagues.
Thank you for the Cash App. Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the Cash App, support the show. Hit my super chat, support the show. Are you not entertained?
For meeting with Donald Trump after he won. Joe and Mika visited the president over 2 weeks ago at his Mar-a-Lago resort at Palm Beach, Florida, to restart communications and set a new approach. Rachel Maddow, along with other hosts at the Troubled Liberal Network, are calling this move by the Married Morning Joe co-hosts opportunistic. You don't think?
Uh-oh.
That's according to a report in the U.S. Sun.
Juicy.
The meeting at Mar-a-Lago created a lot of tension in the teams and many other stars. Oh, is that co-stars? Yeah, many other stars. See both Joe and Mika as opportunistic and with very low self-respect and forgetting their values of being journalists with independence and integrity. That's coming from a journalist who worked at MSNBC for 15 years. So you have a former MSNBC, we're going to say former MSNBC commentator who is spilling the tea. I wonder who this person is. Speaking on the condition of anonymity, the journalist made it clear, commentator, made it clear who has a problem with Morning Joe pivoting from calling Trump a fascist and an admirer of Adolf Hitler to having a cordial meeting with him to figure out coverage going forward. They have lost a lot of credibility. Rachel Maddow is pissed at them, as are other presenters like Chris Hayes and Ari Melber. Well. You know.
Oh, did Joe and Mika hurt your feelings by being smart and bending the knee? Oh, well.
Don't say. Not Chris Hayes, not emoji guy. I call him emoji guy because he looks like the emoji that's smiling with the glasses. He's like, oh, no. They are so frustrated. MSNBC disputed this report, claiming that Maddow hasn't said anything on air or off air about Scarborough or Brzezinski meeting with Trump. Now, I push back on this.
What is that BGS said? Now that is some bullshit.
How does MSNBC know what she said off air? Are you with her every moment of the day? How do you know what Rachel said off air? You guys got cameras or eyes on Rachel or something? This is a way for MSNBC to try to protect their reputation, right? Any insinuation otherwise is merely speculative, an MSNBC spokesperson told the U.S. Sun. This comes as MSNBC has devolved into utter turmoil following Trump's win. The network's viewership has taken a precipitous drive. Comcast is considering spinning off the cable channel, and Maddow agreed to a $5 million pay cut in her contract. Oh, dear God, how else will she survive? Oh, my.
Yep. For those of you who don't know, Rachel Maddow took a $5 million pay cut. Don't feel bad for her. She's still making $25 million a year. Yes, Rachel Maddow was making $30 million a year. But you know, the economy's doing great, right? There is nothing wrong with grocery prices, right?
And there's Mika and Joe, of course. And there's Rachel Maddow. It goes on to say, according to Mika, their rationale for reaching out to Trump was to soothe their fears of their viewers who are worried about his cabinet picks. Okay, we know they went out there because of ratings. We're not stupid, you guys. It goes on to say here, the backlash against the two hosts has been immense in the weeks since.
But you know, you listen to some butthurt blues. It's going to show that Biden's economy is doing great. Biden's economy was doing so great. People should be happy about Biden's economy. Is that why they voted for Donald Trump? And he won the popular vote this time too?
It's the controversial meeting with people on both sides of the aisle ripping them. The View's Anna Navarro slammed the pair, accusing them of changing their stripes because of who's in power and calling the meeting opportunistic. Angela Navarro is one to talk about opportunistic, but we don't need to go there.
Yeah, you don't say opportunistic.
There tonight. On the MAGA side, Megyn Kelly had a much sterner reaction and said on her show, I searched for a way to respond appropriately, and I called on my 10 years as a litigator, in addition to my now 20 as a journalist, and I think I found the perfect phrase. Go fuck yourselves.
Damn.
Oh, my God, my God, my God, my gosh. This is funny. You dishonest jokes and faux journalists. What an absurd farce. Which one was insincere? He's Hitler, or now we're going to speak truth to power and find a way of speaking to and working with Donald Trump. Which one was a lie? Mika and Joe dismissed the criticism, saying how it showed there is massive disconnect between social media and the real world. Since Morning Joe suffered a huge dip in the ratings after the Trump meeting. It said still they suffered, sorry. There are also rumblings the pair got together with Trump for more nefarious reasons. Do tell, shall we? An anonymous source told Puck News that they were afraid the incoming president would have allowed Gates as Attorney General to investigate conspiracy theories surrounding the 2001 death of Scarborough's intern.
Dun, dun, dun. And the plot thickens.
Well. While he was a GOP congressman in Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, looking out for themselves.
Yep.
Are we surprised?
No.
I don't think so. An autopsy found that Lori Bolterstein Closetis, I don't know why that's there, hit her head on a desk after collapsing from an undisclosed heart valve irregularity, but Trump called for a fresh investigation into the case. Sources told CNN that since Trump has been feuding with Morning Joe hosts for years, they met with him to hopefully tamp down his rhetoric against them. So you mean to tell me all this time that Mika and Joe were concerned that Donald Trump might try to look into these conspiracy theories about the young woman that worked for Joe Scarborough? You mean to tell me all this time they were calling him all kinds of names as if they just knew he was going to lose?
Oops.
Risky. You can even see it here. Morning Joe had a segment recently. Now, I don't know if they're trying to talk to us or if they're responding to someone like Rachel Maddow. They are still very angry. They are not happy about the fact that people are criticizing them for being hypocrites and opportunists, because they are. They're all opportunists. They're all hypocrites, and they're all getting paid a lot of money.
Yep.
Listen to this. This is an epic meltdown if I've ever seen one. And I feel like this is something that should happen behind closed doors, but here we are.
Two things. You can do two things at the same time. You can say he had fascist rhetoric and still go in and talk to him.
Yeah.
You know why I do that? To get the read of the man. You know why I went in and talked to Macron? To get the read of the man.
Now, I actually do agree with Joe on this one, because and I think that's a tactic that a lot of black leadership needs to take. You want something out of Trump? Go talk to him. Stop turning your fucking nose up. That doesn't help anybody, doesn't help Trump, doesn't help you. Stop turning your fucking nose up and go talk to the man. Grow a pair of balls. Talking to the black leaders now that might be listening.
Man, at a crucial time in EU funding and NATO funding. Do you know why I went to leaders in the Middle East who were angry at the United States, and I sat there and I listened to them attacking me personally for 45 minutes because of U.S. policy? You know why I do that? To get the read of the leader, to get the read of where the country's going. So I can come back here and talk to you and let you know what the hell is going on.
With context and
give you context, insight, and background. You know everybody we have on the show.
Now, remember, he's talking to his watching audience, the ones that are left. Now, Joe, you do know most of these people are probably sitting, in a nursing home somewhere. I'm just saying. I mean,
that's a reporter. It's what they do every day. They speak on background. Two things. You can do two things at the same time. You can say he had fascist rhetoric and still go in and talk to him.
Yeah.
But you were making fun of people that were talking to him. You guys were calling Trump supporters all types of names. Didn't Joe Scarborough say, who raised these people? Didn't he say that? Like, now it's okay to do what you were saying not to do?
You know why I do that? To get the read of the man. You know why I went in and talked to Macron? To get the read of the man at a crucial time in EU funding and NATO funding. Do you know why I went to leaders in the Middle East who were angry at the United States, and I sat there and I listened to them attacking me personally for 45 minutes because of U.S. policy? You know why I do that? To get the read of the leader, to get the read of where the country's going. So I can.
You do, Joe? Really? I had no idea.
Get the read of the leader, to get the read of the man. You told us to stay away from those people. You told your viewers to stay away from Donald Trump and his supporters.
Yes,
it's
did.
really interesting that now all of a sudden it's okay for you to do that. That's because you guys lost those ratings and he won that presidency, and you want to make sure that he don't come after your ass. Because see, I wasn't born last.
Now, let's not talk about Fannie Willis like that. She's in enough trouble. So is Letitia James. I told y'all, the pawns always go first.
Last night, I already know. So that's what that's really about, ladies and gentlemen. to get the read of the man.
And come back here and talk to you and let you know what the hell is going on.
It's context and
why are you yelling at me? You really ain't got to say it this way. This is why I wonder, are they talking is he talking to the audience?
I mean, come on.
Or is he talking to someone like Rachel Maddow and Chris Hayes?
Oh.
It's like, I came back to tell you what's going on. Like, why are you talking to us like that? Why are you yelling at me?
Give you context, insight, and background. You know everybody we have on the show.
I want to say, Abby, why are you yelling, man? I mean, damn. Are your ratings that bad? Good Lord.
That's a reporter. It's what they do every day. They speak on background.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to really, like yell at us that way.
Now listen to the Joe Scarborough. Now do you understand why I call them Butt Hurt Blue? I call them that for a reason. Because they're almost always butthurt. Something to think about.
Ain't got to do that. Ain't really got to go there. Just keeping it real. You can get your point across without like yelling and pointing fingers at us. That's just all I got to say. MSNBC is chaotic right now. It's not just Morning Joe and Rachel Maddow and people like behind the scenes. It's also even Joy Reid's show. MSNBC's Joy Reid loses roughly half her viewers since the election. Primetime host.
Wait a minute. Did y'all hear that? Baldhead Reid has lost half of her audience since this election. She's lost half of her audience since this election. Baldhead Reid has lost half of her audience since this election. But what did I know? I'm just a low information voter according to some people.
Hosts also struggle. MSNBC lost a whopping 53% of the total viewership in prime time since President-elect Trump's victory. But remember, she was the one that told people not to talk to your friends or family members that vote for Donald Trump. When you go home for Thanksgiving, she said, don't talk to those people. Remove those.
Yep. And because she did that, I don't want to ever hear from a Democrat again that the Republicans are divisive. Probably more than that age trick, but Democrats are not allowed to talk about the Republicans being divisive ever again. I never heard a Republican say don't talk to your family member because they voted for a Democrat. Ever. But this election cycle, you got a whole bunch of Democrats talking about, you don't need to talk to your family members. You voted for Trump. I'm not talking to you. Okay.
Those people from your life. And people actually listen to this woman. You guys are going to remove people that you've known your whole life from what Joy Reid is telling you, someone that you've never known, you've never met before at all, right? So the readout has shed 47% of its total audience, averaging just 759,000 viewers.
Also, Adrian, you might want to keep in mind, you got to remember, most of the people that watch MSNBC are over 50. So younger people are really not, I don't see younger people really paying attention to Joy Reid like that. Just something to think about.
After averaging 1.4 million throughout the 2024 leading up to the election. She even lost more viewers among advertiser coveted demographic ages 25 to 54, losing a whopping 52% of them.
Now that number sound a little bit better, Adrian. Because that sounds about right.
Now averaging only 76,000 key demo viewers.
Wow.
So they're taking a hit. MSNBC is taking a big hit, probably the biggest. CNN is probably after them. But the reality is, folks, it does not look good over there. We're hearing about cat fights behind the scenes that we probably shouldn't really be privy to.
Pretty much.
Joe and Mika are melting down on camera. I get the read of the man and all of this stuff. They're losing it. Rachel took a pay cut. She's still rich, though. It's crazy. It's wild. It's insane. And I think they're going into panic mode. But this is a plus for independent media. This is a
yes, it is.
Plus for people like myself and for people like you,
people like me,
you guys that prefer to get an alternative message. This is a plus because this is our time to shine. This is our time to come through and to teach people something that corporate media is not, and to fill in the gaps where corporate media.
Well, according to some people, we're just low information. Now, let's hear from Skeletor and his analysis. Well, one of the videos of his analysis.
Well, okay, I think there were a couple big mistakes and something overreaching. First of all, correct. If by Biden staying in so late, we didn't have any process. We had all of this unused cordwood sitting on the sideline. Okay, and I mean really good unused. That if we'd have had some kind of an open process, and it would have been much better. It might, like I said, it could have been worse, but it sure could have been a lot better. And you're correct that she didn't separate herself from Biden. But what killed the Democrats and what killed Biden was a sense of disorder. And part of the sense of disorder was the unfortunate events of what I would refer to as the woke era. We got beyond it, but the image stuck in people's minds that the Democrats wanted to defund the police, that they wanted to empty prisons. The immigration stuff, obviously, again, a big mistake, but more importantly, it created the perception of disorder. The Afghanistan withdrawal, while I think Biden was 100% right in getting out, it was disorderly. Inflation was a sign of people's disorder, that there wasn't anyone in charge. And, if we learn anything from this, is change is what wins elections, particularly, people are pointing out, it's a 65% wrong track country. And in a 65% wrong track country, we were offering people the same track. And you can say it's easy in hindsight, but the basic fundamentals of politics were not being paid attention to. And you're right, the campaign didn't, except for that one answer, which was the money question, by the way. Just say that one question, but that one question became the whole definition of the campaign.
Yep.
And, if you answer 99 questions really well, but you get the big one wrong, the outcome is going to be wrong. And, it's easy to say in retrospect, but the reason it's easy to say is because truisms in American politics showed themselves to be, what they are, truisms. And now the question becomes, where do the Democrats go from here? And we're going to have an answer. Okay, I have an idea. Let's go back to something we use, because we need a leader. There's nobody. I mean, Schumer's not been, really hurt by this because they have a majority anymore. And if Hakeem has majority, there's no Nancy Pelosi that we had in the first term. All right, there's not a identifiable opposition leader. What I suggest we do is something we used to do that we've abandoned.
Nancy Pelosi, really? Really, Skeletor, really?
For probably good reason, and that is we have a midterm mini convention. Let's get some of this talent out front. Let people see it. Give people something to do. Give people something to organize around. Because right now, the entire party, and when I say the entire party, I mean the not just the leadership, but the rank and file, is dazed, confused. They don't know which way to turn. There's no heir apparent. There's no, I mean, there's nothing. There's just a giant vacuum. And the only way that you can fill a vacuum is, well, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, agreed.
And,
That sounds like a
people
lot.
say, well, how are you going to select it? It is going to be the whole, everything that Democrats always do. They're going to say, well, you figure out how to select it and, invite 5 people to address the mini convention and get people together and talk, how we reorganize,
Woo! What's going on, Charles?
Woo! Just finished the website. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, good.
That was
what
tedious.
did you use?
What was it? Mighty Sites? Much easier. Jesus Christ.
Mighty Sites, okay.
Mighty Sites is so much
building a website is not easy. It's not easy even when you have help.
Even when you have help. And it took me about 3 hours. And
Not bad,
if anybody wants to go see it or y'all motherfuckers need some security, here's the link. I'm going to tell you this one thing about leadership within said party. I think that he's right because you don't have anybody leading. They just thought the American people were just going to do as they told.
Yep.
And shit is just going to be real gully. And unfortunately for them, surprise, motherfucker. And America is not going to vote for you to stay in office or the representation of you to stay in office with the economy looking horrible. With 2 wars coming in. You literally have probably the worst presidential administration in the modern day. And we're going back since the 70s. You probably make Jimmy Carter look like fucking Teddy Roosevelt. And here's the hubris of it. There was going to be 101 different excuses why Kamala didn't win, but neither one was going to be because she was a bad candidate and because she couldn't answer a damn question. Now, this is the reason why, not to go totally off subject, but it's linking. These are the same people who voted for Kamala are the same people who think Luigi Mangone or Mangonia is a hero. But yet, these are the same people who swears Trump's going to usher us into World War III.
Oh.
But they take no consideration of what the still in power current administration has been doing.
Not at all.
And this is the reason why. How can I say it? This is a political version of you need to sit at the kids' table.
Yeah.
You need to sit at the kids' table.
And unfortunately, that includes most of the so-called black leadership. Y'all need to go sit at the kiddie table.
And you were going to let America be ran through the firmament just to get a black woman in power. A so-called black woman anyway, but we're not going to go that. Notice you could present tapes of this woman calling herself Indian. in Indian
Yep.
only. But you motherfuckers.
Well, actually, we could produce tapes of her calling herself a bitch too, but you know.
But this is the thing that I'm going to hint at. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and donate because I'm gonna do a runner-up show after this show.
Charles tax in effect.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do a runner-up show after this show. Like in the old days, I would do a show like after Kevin Samuels, or
Mm-hmm.
I think we ought to go syndicated, have different time slots. But
No doubt.
this lets you know that there was an abrupt failure in the party when this is the best you could do.
Yes.
There was an abrupt failure when you realize you kicked out staunch Tulsi Gabbard.
Yes.
You staunch kicked out a legacy with Robert Kennedy Jr.
Mm-hmm. Kicked him out.
And you thought you were going to win an election. When you think about it, as fractured as the Republican Party may have been,
yes,
the Democratic Party looked disassembled. They look like the Avengers after Civil War, all discombobulated.
Actually, that might actually be an insult to the Avengers because they still defended the planet pretty well, considering it was Thanos.
Yeah, and this was so apparent when Trump was smart enough to say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And if you think about it, if he got these people who are diametrically opposed to him being president, he's looking for what? Checks and balances.
Mm-hmm.
You think?
That part.
And that right there showed how flaky they were when they let when the Prince of Darkness and his daughter's son or son-daughter
mm-hmm.
support you. That says a lot. And here's the craziness of it, right? When Trump started announcing a lot of his cabinet impositions, right? Notice the green-eyed monster of jealousy seep through the Democratic Party when they said Tulsi Gabbard, a still-ranking lieutenant colonel in PSYOPs and civil affairs, is going to be the head of the national security. I don't know if you have your dual screen, but pull up what PSYOPs is. Pull up what civil affairs is in the military.
We can do that real quick. Let's see. How you spell that? Is that CY ups?
Oh, it's a psi, like psychic. It's going to be PHSYOP. And civil affairs. That's what she's under.
Let's see.
PSYOPs and civil affairs.
Mm-hmm. Psychological operations, is that the proper term?
Yes, that's the proper term. So, PSYOPs and civil affairs. And you forget, these are the people that go in there and do espionage and also psychological warfare. Does that sound like the CIA?
Yep.
And by the way, a lieutenant colonel is the second highest field grade officer. Okay. So she's literally, if she gets promoted, she'll be the highest field grade officer before you become a general, whose rank is a star.
Wow.
So there's people who were in our former party saying that, oh, she's not qualified. Remember how in depth I was about Pete Hegseth?
Yes.
And people saying he wasn't qualified?
Mm-hmm.
How were you the
I'm
CIA?
embarrassed. The Democrats got their
Go ahead. You
for
can.
that. Now, believe it or not, this is a Democrat insider, and she's gonna let them have it.
Oh yeah.
heads knocked between the washer and the dryer. They lost. I think we need to have a discussion about what do the Democrats even stand for. But okay, let me
I've been asking that for years, sweetheart. Don't feel bad.
back this up even further. I bet you're wondering how I got here right now. That was me when I was in Pennsylvania, when I was in Milwaukee. So I was flying around from swing state to swing state. I live in a swing state. I live in Georgia. And I was talking to insiders. I went to the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, talking to politicians, Democratic strategists. And I have thoughts after all that about what happened with the election. My first one is going to be controversial. Actually, all of these will probably be controversial. Again, why
Nah, not really.
am I making this video? Please try not to jump me too bad in the comment section. But my first one is I do think that Joe Biden should have stepped down 2 years ago, quite frankly, not quit the presidency, but I think he should have said that he was not going to run for president in 2024.
Yeah, he ran on he wasn't going to run in 2024. What happened?
And should have begun priming somebody in that time. But that didn't happen. It felt as though the insiders, the people around him, were hiding his condition. And when he did that debate, the disastrous debate, the shit show of a debate, I don't know what else to call it, they couldn't hide it any further. And it just became painfully obvious. So then the media hits started coming from his own party. And by media hits, I mean the backstabbing, the you need to step down, the trash talking came from his own party. They were talking to the media behind his back and giving anonymous quotes saying, oh, we're going to say this on background, which means that they were saying that, but they didn't want their name and they didn't want their identity to be revealed. And it's like, okay, why didn't you say this 2 years ago? He should have been a transitional president. When he was elected in office, people weren't excited. Most people weren't excited to elect Joe Biden.
How is the best case scenario Joe Biden?
People were kind of electing him as a placeholder to see what else we got. What else do the Democrats have? But the Democrats didn't have anything else. He ran again. And when it became painfully obvious that he couldn't be successful, there was a chart that was released that apparently the Biden administration knew that he was going to get whooped in the election, like dog piled, but they kept running.
Yeah.
Like the vice president.
Yeah. They said Biden's internal poll numbers. They said Trump would have got over 400 electoral votes if Biden had stayed in.
Damn, he almost.
He got 312.
He probably would have got more if he probably would have got more if people didn't really believe the fucking, I like to say the word again, the fucking psyops. Let me give you do you know what psyops is, by the way?
Yeah, well, explain it.
Psyops is a perfect example. Kamala Harris is winning in the polls.
Yeah, that would be considered psyops because
that was a real big psyop.
Mm-hmm.
The controlling of the media, the trying to win hearts and minds. At any cost. Notice how many celebrities.
A lot of them.
I really think so. I really think that this is the bad part about the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party's pretty much lost the White House for the next 8 years, 12 years. I'm sorry. You alienated men.
Yes.
Not just black men were pissed with you.
All men.
Oh, say it with me now. All men were pissed with you. And you know one thing about men, if men get up and go or don't go, who's going to protect this country? Fuck your votes. Who's going to build this country? I don't see a bunch of broads getting pitchforks, ditch digging. Your butch lesbians will become very feminine, dress wearing women very soon when shit gets tough.
You know, I asked BTS this question about the carpet munch maker. Is she one dick suck away from turning back to the other side again?
Man, she's a cheap feel and a happy meal away from becoming a dick sucker again. Damn,
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
Damn, I need to make that a t-shirt. A happy meal and a cheap field.
I know she parades herself as a pimp, but yeah, you're still a female, sweetheart. She fucked around and found out the hard way that I own you, nigga. Applies to you too, but that's not what this stream is about. Let's continue.
Him, and that's frustrating. So what happened then is that Kamala Harris became the nominee, and truthfully, I feel like she was 100% set up to fail. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez did this Instagram live where she was saying, don't be so sure that the Democratic insiders even want Kamala Harris to be the nominee.
They didn't.
Right? Don't be so sure that she's going to be the one because they don't really support her. And I think that was clear.
I'm going to say what a lot of these folks aren't saying. If you think that there is consensus among the people who want Joe Biden to leave, that they will support Kamala, Vice President Harris, you would be mistaken.
I think she was essentially sent out like a sacrificial lamb to the slaughter. And strategists were telling her that she could win in a landslide. Strategists were telling us that she was going to win in a landslide. I mean, the entire night of the election, I was in some of these groups talking about the red wave. They were saying that, oh, it's a red mirage. It's a red mirage. Don't worry. The Democrats are going to come back, baby. It wasn't a mirage. It was a red sweep. There was nothing mirage-like about it. It was real, and Republicans won all the swing states. But I do think that the issues with the Democratic Party go beyond just this one loss.
Sorry, I got to speed up because I played it earlier.
It wasn't even a red sweep.
Voters are saying that they're worried about immigration and the economy. Every time you knock on somebody's door, oh, well, milk prices are high and egg prices are high. I do think that the cost of goods will increase under a Trump presidency. I hope they don't. I do think that. But that doesn't counter the fact that people felt like currently under the Biden-Harris administration, their lives were harder and that they were struggling to.
Yes. But if you listen to Butthurt Blue, the economy's doing great. I don't see why everybody's complaining.
Make ends meet. And Democrats, instead of addressing that, kept saying, well, we have to save we have to save democracy from Donald Trump. But then when Trump...
Yep. What was the Democrats' message? Trump is coming. Oh, my gosh.
This is another issue about the Democrats. Again, we get to this question of they have kind of this wishy-washy message because they kept saying that Trump was going to destroy democracy. He was going to destroy everything. And then he got elected and Democrats were like, well, congratulations. we played a good game, but you won fair and square. It's like, is this person a threat to democracy or not? Because it's not giving that. Because it seems like y'all are like, well, it's fine. We'll just try again in another 4 years. So this whole time, though, you have been priming people to think that there will no longer be elections if Donald Trump wins. Like, what's going on here? You really shouldn't ignore the economic anxiety argument. And I get that some people are not receptive to this because they feel like individuals say economic anxiety when really they just mean we don't want to vote for a Black woman. We don't want to vote for a woman. We don't want to vote for a minority woman. But surely everybody is not saying economic anxiety to hide these other bigoted feelings. I don't think that's true. Some people are in food deserts. Rent prices are high. People are really struggling to make ends meet on a day-to-day basis. And if you look at the macro level might say, oh, inflation is cooling, right? This is a long-term plan, or food prices are going to go down, or rent prices are going to go down. If you look at this chart shows that food prices are actually on an incline, or a decline to decrease in the 2.47 in the stock market. But nobody want to hear about that. People on a micro level, regular people door to door, don't want to hear
Yeah, I speed it up, so it's not as bad as it sounds.
About whatever you have to say about that chart over there, what the numbers say, what the stock market is doing. People are worried about the check that they're bringing in or not bringing in, and concerned about how they're not making enough money, which I really ultimately think the true issue is about how they're not making enough money to have a steady living. I think the Democrats really struggle with meeting people where they are. So people are like,
yes,
oh, I can't afford rent. And the Harris campaign might be like, oh, well, we're actually going to give you a small business tax credit.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how stupid that shit is. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, can I break this down like an M4 in basic training?
Yeah.
Number one, we're going to take the two side pins connecting the lower and the upper receiver. If that was possible, why didn't you and Biden do that while you were still in office? It's kind of hard to say what you would do when you already sit next to the right hand of God. It's kind of hard to vote for a person who was silent for 3.5 years. You went to a sorority party instead of speaking to the prime minister of Israel, but you gave him the money anyway. You lied about being over talking to Zelensky.
Yep.
You have to realize this, right? What does a tax credit for small businesses do when you just need the money anyway? How much credit did some of these businesses utilize just to stay afloat?
Mm-hmm.
Why not give the money to the people? You could have gave $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 to small business owners who could legitimately produce an EIN number.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what a small business, $50,000 to $100,000 would do for my business? We would galvanize the hell out of us. We could do promoting, but yet you constantly see the failures of these people when they said, well, what I will do if I'm in power. You are in power now. You're the president of the Senate.
Yep.
You voted for this fucking inflation. Own it. This is the reason why a lot of people do not like educated black women.
Yeah.
Because you're too damn smart to be disingenuous.
I'm getting an echo. Somebody might need to turn your YouTube off, Rael.
He's muted. You got one now?
No.
But it's a good. How hard is it for a vice president to talk to the president and be like, "Hey, we should push this"?
Not hard at all.
Especially if you're supposed to be
unless he's not the one in charge, but you know.
Especially, or you have the right mental faculties.
Yeah, that too.
Especially if, one, you know the American people are struggling to stay afloat.
Mm-hmm.
But you're giving $200 billion to Ukraine for what?
Well, we need to fight Russia.
Why? We don't produce shit. Your children. Your children are not even smart enough. Let me go black pill before I let Rayo in real quick. That motherfucker Luigi who killed the
CEO.
United Air CEO, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a privileged white boy.
Yep.
Who went to a high school, which is, you do know the Gilman School is in my old district, right?
Oh, really? Okay.
Northern District. That's where my son and his best friend was at their little junior league for wrestling when they were smaller. These motherfuckers, right? It takes almost $38,000 a year to attend. He has a degree, both bachelor's and master's, in computer and electrical engineering.
Mm.
And you telling me you're not producing kids with the common sense to say, you know what? I can make the world a better place by inventing something to make life easier for people. But I'm going to go shoot this motherfucker. And now, guess what? Now, you may put the devil himself in office as CEO now. You may have made the conditions that you were trying to fight worse. That's why sometimes it's not good to assassinate people.
Yes.
And sometimes it's better to do character assassinations. But here's the craziness. Look at the world we live in and the type of people voting for Kamala. They're doing shit like that. You have women talking about how cute he looks, but he committed murder.
Yep.
You'll big up that, but you'll say Daniel Penny was wrong. Pick a struggle. But go ahead, Rayo.
Go ahead, brother.
Peace to both of y'all. Peace to the chat. Um, one of the things I was with Complex I was covering before I left the Brain Trust was this conversation or this topic about the Black intelligentsia, and it's funny how that topic, along with the conversations we had about Booker T. Washington, is really starting to rear its head, because this is nothing new. This is something that we've been dealing with for the past 100+ years. It's just now a lot of Black people are starting to wake up to who has been the so-called stewards of Black leadership, which really have been the most incompetent and ineffective leadership that we have ever had as Black people. I want to make that very clear. The present day leadership apparatus that Black people currently have has been the most incompetent, feckless, inept, quote unquote leadership that we have ever had as a group of people. I know a lot of people will say, well, what about the people that helped, that contributed to us getting in slavery? Well, even in slavery, man, we still built shit. We still created shit in slavery. Okay. To the point that we helped America actually develop into a world power. There is no America as without the contributions of the Black business class, the innovators, the inventors. There is no America without us. And unfortunately, the pseudo intellectual class has really, really pulled a fast one on Black people. On the one hand, they have postured themselves as being the type of people that are speaking on behalf of Black people to help Black people advance. But the reality is that their whole ideology is centered around a grievance. And if you look at any of our history of the great, Black people were never seeking things based on the grievance. Black people were making moves even in spite of some of the most harsh conditions. Black people were still doing great things. And unfortunately, this particular class of black people, they got exposed in this past election. And it's about time. It's about time that they finally got exposed for who they are, being people on a take. I was talking to Complex about this a couple weeks ago, and I was telling him there was an interview that Mayor Andrew Young did when he started he started advertising for Walmart. And if you know, around this time, there was a lot of conversations about stores like Walmart who were considered underpaying their employees and stuff like that. It was kind of like a big issue. And so they used somebody of his stature, a so-called black leader, to come out there and advertise with Walmart. And so when he was being interviewed by this journalist, the journalist asked him, well, what do you think about people who would say that, you're on the take, which basically means like you sold out?
Mm-hmm.
And his response was, it was a wry smile and kind of laugh. And he said, well, everybody's on a take. Now, mind you, this is supposed to be one of your civil rights heroes and all of that. And he told the truth.
So-called civil rights.
You know what I'm saying? So again, it just shows you that when you see all these people, you're Roland Martin getting paid this amount of money, you're Sharpton getting paid this money to, first of all, that's not even from a journalistic integrity perspective. You cannot be taking money from a particular candidate and literally say, like, this is who y'all are supposed to support. You have a vested interest in terms of money to actually say that. You're not being objective. And there's no way that anybody that's selling you out can ever present themselves as being objective. If you're part of any affiliation, any groups that's taking money from political candidates, what you're supposed to do is put that out as a disclaimer. So people know, like, okay, well, the reason why you're saying this is because you've been paid. So we can't really take you seriously as somebody who is really giving out the right information. And
Right.
so from that alone, I mean, it's to the point that you have a church or a Christian organization that has literally asked MSNBC to actually suspend Sharpton for this.
Actually, they retracted their cowards.
Well, what they did at first, but it was the right move because, again, this is not something that you can't minimize or diminish how important something like this is, because when black people are trying to look for, you can't sit there and say, well, the Republicans are shady because they're trying to ask people to get a voter ID to vote, and then at the same time you literally have this administration sue Youngkin in Virginia to allow people who are legally not able to vote to stay on the roll to vote. And then at the same time, you're putting forth your support for candidates as if they're on the up and up, while you're secretly taking money. Like you're no different than the people you claim are trying to suppress black people's votes. You're not trying to suppress black people's votes for yourself, but you are trying to suppress their vote for somebody, even from another party, or even from your own party, if you'd have had an actual primary, to vote for somebody else when they find out you're doing something. Like, just imagine if they had a primary and they had somebody that came and you had all these people in the field, and then they was like, oh, Roland Martin and them, they was all out here, saying support Kamala, and then it comes out, oh, she paid y'all money to support her. Her candidacy will literally tank in that moment. It will be over. It will be done. So why it's not done now? You know what I'm saying? Like, now, I mean, it's over, but why wouldn't it be done just because she's running against a Republican? No, it should be done too. Like, that's shady. I mean, that's some shady shit. So we have to really understand that it's not the people that are in the know, the people that do their own research and do their own reading, that's the problem. It's the lay black people that's the problem. It's the black people that have been hoodwinked in these hoods and these different cities, who have been ran by ineffective black leadership for 60 some years, Ice Cube talked about this when he was talking about all the mayors that we didn't have in black cities going the past 40, 50 years, and don't seem like we're getting anything out of it. So those people are waking up. That's why they're showing up to the city council meetings with Brandon Johnson and
Yeah.
putting on the red shirts and stuff like
What
that
they call
because
them,
they
Chicago Red, if I'm not mistaken.
right, exactly. So they're waking. Those are the people that they got a problem with because now after the black people in California didn't put the bill up for reparations, they got exposed after they were trying to say, oh, the Republicans, this is not the fault. California is a super majority blue state. There's
Yep.
nothing that any Republicans can do to stop anything to be passed that's for the interest of black people in California. And when it was time to pull that bill up to get that vote, black people, the black politicians, they did not pull the bill up. And when a
And
Republican called their bluff and said, I'm gonna vote to put the bill forward, no other Democrat signed on to bring it up for a vote. So after all that rhetoric in 2020 about reparations, after putting it in a committee and all that silly stuff, we're gonna study the issue. After all of that, when it came time to actually vote on it, they didn't even put it up. And this is what they've been doing to black people. They've been hoodwinking black people for the past 100+ years.
yeah, that's one of the reasons I flipped is because I got tired of them saying, "But the Republicans that was it doesn't matter when it doesn't matter if they had 60." Their excuse is always, "But the Republicans wouldn't let us do it." Or what is that they said during Build Back Better? That also drove me up a wall. What was that? The parliamentarian or something wouldn't allow them to do something. They came up with all kind of excuses, and I got tired of that crap, man. It's not that I think the Republicans are perfect or like black people. They don't.
I
But
mean, think about this, right? Why do you have to study what you already know for centuries?
because why is it kept? When they did have slavery, we were 60% of GDP, and they owe us a lot of money.
You got to put it in a, oh, well, damn. We wouldn't be able to pay you this money. Well, 200 billion would be a start. Fuck you, Ukraine.
Well, it's kind of hard to be taken seriously when you use reparations to shame black people into voting for a certain candidate who
Yeah,
actually don't even bring it up once they get inside the office.
yeah.
Well, it's even harder to vote for somebody. And if you ever notice, the two so-called black people, why are they against reparations? Because they're not ADOS.
Mm.
They're not foundationally black, are they? So when you look at this shit, oh, this shit's gonna make me smoke a cigar. This is pissing me off. When you look at this, everybody else got their fucking reparations. Say what you want about Dr. Umar, he was right about this. And I will quote him. When the white man can have his heaven on earth, the red man, the yellow man, the Asian man can have their heaven on earth, but you tell me that I have to die to see heaven, that's a religion I don't need. And you can implant religion with political party.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have to research? I'm going to ask you and Ryle this question. Who's the number one demographic that is homeless?
Wouldn't it be black man if I'm not mistaken?
Black men.
Yeah, black man.
Number one incarcerated.
Black men.
Number one disenfranchised.
Black men.
Number one miseducated or undereducated.
Definitely black men.
Who's most affected by child custody and child support?
Black men and boys.
Criminal justice system,
Yeah, black men.
the least to benefit from the shit they fought for, affirmative action.
Definitely black men.
So that was less than 30 seconds, right?
Yep.
Maybe a minute. And we need to research what again? You literally have these issues. A black man can't get work, black men being discriminated. Even our women have it better than us. Our women don't even want to be us because they know they got so much of an advantage over us. Yes, I will tell you the truth. Their advantages are waning,
Yes.
but they still have them.
Yeah. In fact, their quiet has kept it a growing homeless population. But you know,
Yeah, they're the fastest growing homeless population. Yep. Yep.
we get accused of always bashing black women. I keep that one quiet because it's not something I want to celebrate. That's that's
Well,
just
I
not.
mean, the thing is, we're not as men, we're not. See, there's one thing when you celebrate somebody learning a harsh lesson that they need to learn to make them better,
Yeah.
as opposed to celebrating somebody just fail at life. That's not what we're doing. We're not
Right.
celebrating them fail at life at all.
I just think it's a failure. I just think it's a failure, man. You can't shit upon people and expect them to look at it as a gourmet meal.
Mm-hmm.
You constantly tell black people what they should do. And what's been happening? You've proven them right. You prove every step of this space. The one thing about this Black Manosphere space, regardless of whatever ideology you got, the one thing we can unanimously agree on is that we were right to the motherfucker.
Well, hold on, Charles. I'm gonna say this. Let me get up out of here.
All right.
The one thing that this space has been, one thing that this space has been consistent on, I think, is two things. Number one, this space has been consistently not with the pro-black babble crap.
Oh no.
And number two, this space has been not for women being put in a position to run shit. And so, when I don't even think a lot of black men really understand what they were really saying when they were supporting this particular candidate. You were basically supporting being ran by a woman. Okay? And as far as I'm concerned, I ain't ever in my life, not from this position, in terms of your government, your military, like, I'm not supporting that. I'm not, like, I know we got way more. I mean, you got people that really were really more willing to let her be the commander in chief than you got Hegseth as Sec Dev. As Secretary of Defense, with his track record, there is no way in hell you're gonna ever convince me of that. Like, that ain't even got nothing to do with racial stuff. That's just man shit. Like, hey, he put it on the line like that. Like, if we take that, let's take him away as a white guy and let's put Charles in there. Are we voting for that chick over Charles? Like, no. Like, no.
Like why would
We
you?
know your history. We know your background. We know you've been in them trenches literally. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, no. Like, we're not.
Over a Valley Girl black woman.
I mean, come on, bro. I mean, at some point, man, you got to use your brain, man. Like, come on, bro. Like, that means you have really drank the Kool-Aid, man. Like you really have lost your footing as a group of males. Like that's why if you see all these dudes on TV, that's why they sitting on TV crying like bitches and shit. Like black men don't want to be
Right, L,
represented by
I would,
no dudes like that.
I wouldn't know, brother. I don't watch TV. I don't even have cable. I
I'm gonna
refuse
tell
to
you
pay
how
for it.
horrific. Hey, what's up, Beach?
What's
I'm
up,
gonna
Beach?
tell you how
What's going on,
horrific it
Beach?
is, Rael. The term commander in chief means you could fire every admiral, every general, if you so choose to, and relieve them of their command and run the military your goddamn self.
Mm-hmm.
You literally are supposed to be the one with the biggest balls walking around like you could sling your dick over your shoulder.
Yep.
Is that the type of motherfucker Kamal looks like?
Hell no.
Bruh.
Now,
No.
if you gave me now, I'm gonna go back in a little history, 4 decades or so, 4.5, really. If you gave me some Margaret Thatcher like bitch, we might be talking. You a mean motherfucker if your nickname is the Iron Lady. But see, there's one thing to want to say, I want to see a powerful black woman in office, and there's another motherfucker thing if you actually wield power.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't. And here's the funny thing: they want to see a quote unquote powerful black woman. I wouldn't call Kamala Harris a powerful woman. Period. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna say this on Mr. Blue Collar. Black men have been under the most seditious level of treachery that any other race of man has ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Without question.
We were betrayed by our country at times. We were betrayed by our organizations, and we damn sure have been betrayed by our women. Our own women don't even see themselves as the same voting bloc as us on a 90 percentile rate. This is the reason why some days we need to call us the Justice League, because nigga is just us.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I share something when you, for 40 to 50 years, you prided yourself saying you don't need me?
Yep.
You're the
And did it publicly.
And publicly. And we're supposed to help you because the economy. Get the fuck out of it. I'm going to tell you this story real quick. And thank you for donating that shit. Put the jingle music on. Yeah.
Give me some ideas. I got to download it first, but okay.
Now, I had a female, like the one I told you, the one of them try to friend zone me. She told me that she wants a nigga to make her a housewife and to sit in her femininity. I laughed my ass off like it was Martin talking shit.
Say that one more time. I want to make sure I got the full context.
She said she looking for a dude to set her in her femininity. I laugh like I listened to Martin Lawrence's CD talking shit.
Okay. Why didn't you have your femininity already? I mean,
oh, trust me. This is Charles Armstrong Jr. you talking to.
Yeah.
Oh, you know the comeback came hard. I said, let me ask you this one question. Were you born a woman? So you already feminine. So that's a nix. Number 2, 80% of women work in this country.
Yep.
What makes you special?
Including the one that's married to 6 figures. Oops, did I say that out loud?
Exactly.
Including white women.
Including the ones who make millions.
Yep.
So what makes you? Here's another part. You got 2 kids by 2 different men. You married your son's father, who's the youngest. Your oldest baby daddy is deceased because he's living a street life is the only life he knew. Now, if you couldn't get that from those niggas and you were in your prime, how the fuck should you get that in your decline?
Wait a minute, Charles. Don't talk about Tia Mallory like that. Ooh, wait, did I say that out loud? Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Excuse me, but I got to take over your show for just about 2 minutes, maybe 3.
Y'all hit the Cash App to support the show. Sergeant tax is in effect. Go ahead.
Sergeant tax is in effect. I'm taking over the show till I run my show. I'm gonna tell you this shit. Number one, Tia Mowry don't understand when she released her husband. She created a fucking monster.
Very much.
She created a monster. That motherfucking fucking bitch is 20 years younger. And he looking at her. Why? Because you probably got ran through, bitch. That's why.
She's still on Instagram thirst trapping. Charles, we can't hear you. Charles, we can't hear you. Oh crap.
No, I muted myself because of a phone conversation. I'm back.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say this. You created a monster. I'm going to tell you why. Women don't understand men. And how many you got live right now?
I got 39.
39. I'm going to put it to you this way. I want all 40 of you motherfuckers watching, including the 3 on the panel. When you break a man's heart, I want whatever women listening or going to listen to this in the future, open your ears for this. I'm going to tell you a little bit of secret about men. A man just need to go through one heartbreak and he will never be the same man again.
No, he won't.
He will be the most pragmatic, the most heartless motherfucker ever. And the only person to blame is you. Here's the reason why. You're a B-list celebrity. Okay?
That's a little high, Charles. More like C.
C-list. Barely a Disney actress. Here's the funniest part. You literally, and I mean literally, had a decent looking guy. Most women would say he's traditionally handsome. And he's going to get younger women, no kids, bodies tighter than fish pussy, bowing down to him like he's the Judeo-Christian God. And what you done was make that man very pragmatic.
Yep.
And tell me if I'm wrong, fellas, in the chat and on the panel. When a man becomes pragmatic, he can truly never love again. The only thing that man will ever truly love again are his kids, and that's it.
If he has them.
And I'm gonna tell you this one, a lot of you women, give me some woos and some hell yes if I'm speaking the truth. This is the reason why you women can't find a man, because men are very pragmatic. They see trouble very well from a mile of fucking way. Okay? When you offer no assistance, he's going to give you nothing but resistance and his distance.
Yep.
When you're nothing but trouble, and all a guy has to do
is what? Check the whole facts.
Mm-hmm.
If your whole fact says I've never been married,
And you over 30? Ooh.
you over 30, you got 2 kids, you never been married,
Red flag, red flag, red flag.
that motherfucker's beeping like DEFCON 4.
Pretty much.
Sorry.
A lot of bitches open their mouths just to put themselves in the fuck only character category or to get the fuck away from me category.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at a person like Tia Mari, you're just like, yeah, you just a hit list, even if that. Why do you think what's Diana Ross's daughter?
Tracy Ellis Ross.
Tracy Ellis, yeah.
Crazy Ellis Ross. I know what I said.
Ooh.
You're 50 plus, still nice body or whatever. Never liked her eye because who are you looking at?
Yeah.
Out here thirst trapping too.
Trying to thirst trap. You only trying to thirst trap younger niggas. But just like another chick I used to talk to tell me, there's a lot of these young guys, messing with older women. I said, you know why? Here's the secret. There's 2 things you got to understand. 1, older women are easy. 2, older women pay for dick. Y'all just
And
don't.
they teach.
And they what?
You remember what BGS said? Because he talked about he learned.
That's
But
called.
unfortunately, that was that's a lost generation.
That's called. It's rare that you can learn something from an older bitch.
Mm-hmm.
They pay. They got to pay that man's attention. And see,
True.
when you get into the psyche of men, women, because I'm really saying this not to the guys, because the guys already know this. They've experienced this. I'm talking to the women. Y'all keep opening your goddamn mouths. Your actions speak even louder. The decibels sound like a fighter jet taking off right beside you. And you expect men to want to play these stupid games with you? Like I told Shorty, show me one nigga who's going to sit your nearly 40 ass down with 2 little rugrats that aren't his and really make you sit in your so-called, you're not feminine if you got to. Let me picture this, right? And I want y'all in the chat and in the panel, if I say this about myself, I need a woman to respect me and to love on me and to support me so I could rest in my masculinity. What the fuck would you think of me?
You're
Nigga,
a male.
you faking the funk.
You're
I think you're soft.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Or pathetic.
That's actually my point. You're a male. You're not a man. You're a male.
You weak. Thank you. So why the fuck, if I hear a woman saying I need a man to take care of me, to rest in my femininity, obviously you were never feminine to begin with. Love, like masculinity, like femininity. If you don't have it to begin with, there's no way nobody can put in or restore it.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody
That's like
take
putting
this mic.
empathy.
Somebody
Give it
take
to me.
Well,
this
here's
mic.
the issue: is that
Give it to me.
these chicks are treating femininity like it's optional, when it's supposed to be the thing they rely on. That's supposed to be their fallback. But all it's supposed to be the femininity that keeps them on the straight and narrow and keeps them grounded. They don't seem to understand that.
No, they don't.
I don't think a lot of women understand. A lot of females, excuse me, let's call them what they are, because a lot of them aren't really women.
Agreed.
I don't think a lot of females really understand what it means to be a woman. And I don't know if I can mention this motherfucker's name. AB, I'm gonna type in the chat if it's okay with you, if I can mention his name.
Private chat.
In the back chat, I mentioned. Is it can I use this man's name? Can I
Oh
mention?
yeah. Tommy's he good. You're good.
Oh, okay. I remember back in the day, Tommy, before he was the absolute asshole that he was, he mentioned a few times, most women, why do they have a kid? To prove that they are sexually desirable. Because that yes.
Right on time.
Kids, 7 different men. So what? Yes, we're getting 3K EBT. I am dating the EBT plug right now in the office. He is the man in the office. I am dating him. We are currently pregnant right now.
What?
This is my 8th child. I will be having a baby boy again. That is 8 boys all together. And here's my oldest.
That just goes to your point, Namer. Female, not woman, female.
Female.
8 boys by
That's my
8
oldest
men.
back there. So yes. I mean, hey, 7 kids, 8 kids, it doesn't matter. We are bringing in 2025, married.
And this is where I get on.
Wait, she's married? Did she say she's married?
With 8
I think she's engaged to getting married.
And we are adding.
Yeah, this is where I get on you fuck boys. I'm gonna need you fuck boys. Stop getting these dumb hoes pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Dumb hoes.
And you heard? Did you?
Go ahead.
Did you hear her say that they all stay in the same house too? That means these aren't even adult kids that are out of the house. He's in here taking care of kids from 7 different men, and then put another one in her. This dude right here.
What's the age
That's somebody.
range?
He's not confident. Well, young enough to live with her.
More
I know what's the.
So yes, I love my plug. The food stamp's not gonna stop. We are hooking people up with the 3K EBT with 4 kids or more. People with 1 child, 1K. I mean, get in the game. What y'all waiting on? I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Y'all better stop letting.
And now you're fucking up for everybody else on EBT. You dumb.
And like BGS said, women don't date men; they date the game. He is her plug. She's referred to him repeatedly as her plug, not her fiance, not her husband, not her man. That's a hookup.
Notice.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Meech hit it on the head. They don't marry you; they marry what you can do.
Yep.
This is the Lois Lane effect. Lois never loved Superman. She just loved the Kryptonian power. This is the reason why a lot of motherfuckers, if you still date, and I'm damn near about to be out the game because I hate flaky bitches, and a lot of dating women now is a bigger gamble than betting your fucking life savings in a casino. You're more likely to.
I put her to bed like 5 minutes ago. Why is she back up?
Because she's a toddler.
Why are you asking us, bitch? You should know.
And that's another thing. Why are you recording all your? Do you know what I did today?
What?
Paid the rent.
Attention.
Paid the rent.
Mm-hmm.
Went to my old job, got some shit signed off so I could get my retirement money or whatever the fuck I still got in it.
Oh, congratulations.
I ain't retired yet. I'm semi-retired, but
well, hey. Congratulations are in order either way.
And I'm gonna tell you this. I got a job offer to go to fucking Iraq to do a security for a year. 3 months on, 1 month off. Getting paid about $450 a day.
Yeah,
and trust me, Iraq ain't what it used to be 20 years ago when I went. So, and plus I'll have better equipment. So you're telling me, right? And also started my website.
Over neighboring Syria?
And started my website, and I put this link in the chat. So you're telling me, instead of putting up videos of your child reciting her ABCs, her numbers, showing that you're a woman of class, what's that new word? Being very demure,
I guess.
having some
Demure.
decorum, even though
Having
decorum is
some elegance, maybe.
some elegance, some class. You're asking the world, embarrassing your daughter and yourself. Why is she still up? You know what you just told the world? You're a slack ass mama. Not
She for the
mother.
streets.
I'm about to stand on what I'm about to say.
That's hood rat.
That sits there
Yeah.
and watches you struggle in any way, shape, or form does not give a damn about you. So why are you still opening up your legs for him?
Oh boy.
No, he don't feel bad for you. Don't feel
Another
bad for
drunk,
him.
angry, alcoholic bitch.
I'm about to stand on what I'm about to say. Any
Yeah.
Yes, I see everybody talking about me having.
Yeah, we already played you.
I put her to bed like 5 minutes ago.
And
Why is she back up?
Do you understand how
Drinking
toddlers
juice.
work?
Ari,
Mm-hmm. Like
you need to go night night.
I'm thirsty and I'm hungry.
You got to
What you want from
tire.
me? She's like, I'm thirsty, I'm hungry. What do you want from me?
Nobody
You
playing
gotta
with
wait.
you. You need to go get back in the bed. Yeah, go get back in the bed.
Pause for a minute, please.
Mm-hmm.
You see, first of all, where is her father? Does she have a father to begin with? Because people forget, toddlers, they like to hang out with dad. And you know what dad does? He plays with them. He tires them the fuck out. That's the best way to put them to sleep. You got to wear these little fuckers out. Excuse my French for using it. Wear these little rugrats out. You got to tire them out. Take them outside. Get them exhausted. Once they're
Yeah, that's why you let them run
exhausted,
around. That's why you actually let kids run around.
take them to the playground. Take them to the playground. You have an idea how wild they get over there? And keep a
She ain't
watchful
gonna
eye
go
on them
over
as well.
there and ruin her hair chasing no kids. Her hair is primary.
And and the kid's got a bonnet. The kid has a bonnet.
I put her to bed.
Don't nobody hate bitches more than bitches. All Kaya did was hop on
Say
here
that
and
again.
shake her ass a little bit and make some fire ass food. And it's a million bitches running around talking about some. I don't get the hype, bitch. It ain't for you to get, bitch. Bucket head hoe.
Black men are failing to fight against systematic oppression because they're too focused on fighting against Black women. Patriarchy and white supremacy aren't just systems, they're weapons. Black women already burdened with
Pause.
racism and
Pause.
sexism.
Goddamn pause. Can I speak to the Marine real quick?
Go ahead.
I'm listening.
Soldier to Marine. Did you know that this thing called patriarchy, that we actually took an oath and went through basic training and served in some god awful place at some point? It's the same reason she's not in a fucking burqa.
Yeah, but see, that would have taken some sort of fucking appreciation on her end, and we know, especially as Black men, we're not going to receive any of that.
No.
Oh, I don't know if you know this or not, but Black men have never controlled the patriarchy when it did exist in this country.
Oh yeah, patriarchy. See, this is the thing. These bitches keep talking about the patriarchy, but they go to the patriarchal white man to try to put your ass in jail, child support, and take your kids away from you.
Yep, say that again.
Or they'll go to the patriarchal white man and beg, I can't find a good man, so I need some education, housing, and a career.
Or they'll go to them and say they can't find a good Black man, so I want to live under your patriarchy and in your house, white man. They talk a lot of shit, but they point out the primary patriarch, well, what used to be the primary patriarch in this country, and you talk about you don't want the patriarch. No, but you just don't like your place in it.
And see, here's the thing about it. Remember when I talked about the chick who said rest in your femininity?
Yeah.
Are you the type of chick, if I do this shit for you, 2 o'clock in the morning, I nudge you and I say I'm hungry, are you going to make me a motherfucking sandwich?
Hell no.
Shout out to Anthony Mackie, Captain America, by the way, formerly Falcon, when he was on that chick show.
If
Jeff
I don't
Hudson?
open up your door, what you gonna say? Open up a door. If a guy touches you or try to do something to you, you want me to smack him in his mouth. So 2:00 in the morning, you make daddy a motherfucking sandwich.
Yep. And do it without me asking.
And do it. If I say that I'm hungry, and I'm gonna preach this shit. And before we finish this video, there's two things I notice a lot of men never experience. They never experienced a woman lusting after them, which is powerful. And they never experienced a woman truly be feminine just to please you.
Exactly, because it's very rare amongst our women.
Exactly.
And until you experience, you don't. Let me tell you something. Until you actually experience that, and I have, until you actually experience that, you really wouldn't even believe that it's a thing. It's almost like a fairy tale, or it's a, in the days of yore, days of old shit, BC.
Yeah, it's
an additional layer of harm from Black men who've been conditioned to uphold patriarchal ideals. This isn't a coincidence. It's a deliberate strategy designed
10
to
second
divide and
pause.
conquer.
10-second
This
pause.
brings us to
Why do Black men hold up patriarchal ideals? Who creates society? Men, right?
do.
Who teach culture?
Men. Oh,
women.
Women do. Men create culture.
So if we're holding up patriarchal idealisms, or ideology, since we want to be proper tonight, the only reason we do so is because a woman taught us to. Oops. There's a reason why your mom said you can't be doing all that crime, because it's unbecoming of a man, because she knows the world will punk you if you do that type of behavior.
Yep.
They're gonna try to punk you if you don't do it. So don't show them any weakness.
Law 39 of the 48 Laws of Power. Stir up waters to catch fish. Patriarchy and white supremacy thrive on chaos, using Black men to control Black women, ensuring that our community
Really?
remains.
When the fuck have they ever given us control of you?
Shame Black women for being too masculine or too independent, ignoring the burden society places on us. They use these stereotypes to blame Black women for systematic issues, erasing the reality that our strength is actually a response to oppression and not a character flaw. Platforms.
Hey, what burden has society placed on Black women?
Attacks on Black women by labeling us as unworthy and undesirable. These men are mocking our natural features.
Oh, you did that yourself, sweetheart.
Our choices and our achievements, reinforcing white supremacist beauty standards and patriarchal control. Black women are the backbone of every liberation movement. Yeah.
Okay.
Black men often benefit from our work, and then they refuse to support us in return. They expect us to fight for their rights while denying us the respect and care we deserve.
She's projecting.
Anti-Blackness.
Wait a minute. Pause.
Pause that real quick, man. Check this out. First off, what burden is society placing on Black women? They're not placing any fucking burden on them. That burden is on us. You get the kids, you get the social fucking the welfare and all of this shit. Those programs are created for you. You have the most shelters for those of you that are homeless, especially if you have your fucking children. Men get bent the fuck over the goddamn most. We get locked up the most. We get harsher fucking sentences for the same goddamn crime. And you're talking about, and when did we ever expect y'all to take care of us? It's been 70 fucking years before, as a group, y'all have tried to take care of your Black men. What are you talking about? And she seems like she's reading off a teleprompter. We don't care if you can speak proper English. You still ain't saying shit.
And that's the horrible part about it. This is how you know this is bullshit. Ask a Black woman if she'll trade places with any Black man.
Never.
I say the same thing
for 25% of the time.
Harmful stereotypes pit women against each other based on complexion and align themselves with white supremacists.
Oh, wait a minute. Who's hating on Cooking with Kyla now? Who? Oh, right.
What?
Y'all are the colorists.
These behaviors are not random. They're systematic. Patriarchy and white supremacy condition Black men to see Black women's independence as a threat. Some men align with these systems out of ignorance, but others
What
deliberately
what did
weaponize them
Zerl
to
Neil
dominate
Hurston
people,
say?
seeing our autonomy as a challenge to their own fragile sense of power. The result,
Hold on a second.
black women are left feeling
Pause for a minute, AB.
unsupported, gaslit, and devalued by the very
AB, could you
men
pause for a
who should be
moment?
standing beside us.
Let it
This
play for a
isn't
little
just
bit.
emotional harm, it's a betrayal that keeps us isolated and exhausted. Despite this, black women remain at the forefront of liberation movements.
Okay, go ahead, Namer.
First of all, you notice she's got a septum piercing. It's
Yeah.
really small and discreet under her nose. And judging by her face, she's got to be a heavy set woman. She's a heavy set woman. So something tells me she's one of them educated women, you know. She's one of them educated females.
Mm-hmm.
I would be surprised if she went to college on a gender study and came out with a gender studies major degree.
Probably.
I take that bet. Absolutely, that's what she got. But you know what? This chick right here, she's not gonna have a back and forth conversation so that you guys can really dig into the. This is her right here. Let me get up here with this pre-written dialogue and read it off and use the kind of language that would bring other females and other bullshit, bitter ass fucking females, unstudied females with the bullshit culture, and just read to them what they like. And now I got it off my chest. But you haven't actually delved into anything. You don't want to go back and forth. You don't want us to ask questions, and you certainly don't want us to ask you to show us where you get these ideas from, where you get these quote unquote facts from, or these things you're presenting as facts, where you're getting that information from. Because you're certainly not getting it from the CDC.
I'm gonna tell you
Carrying
this,
the weight of
man.
both racism and sexism.
I'm gonna tell you what it is, man.
I think we need to give them what they want. Men stop being men and said fuck it all and let them show. Oh, somebody in the house. I respect your power as a strong black woman. The Glock is is underneath the pillow. Go downstairs and handle it, and good luck. I'm gonna make sure me and the kids be safe out here. And I'm gonna tell them the legendary stories of this strong black woman.
Mm-hmm.
Get what they want. Stop working.
Well, you know, here's a thing, Charles. They know good and well that it's in
While being
us
vilified for
to
our
it.
efforts, our strength and independence are viewed as problems and not solutions because they expose the cracks in a system designed to oppress us all. Why do black men work so hard to keep black women in their place? How has this affected your relationships, your self-worth, or the view?
She's just projecting.
Do you notice something interesting? I mean, didn't Nikki Giovanni pass away recently?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you know there's a reason. So you know there's a reason a lot of them are just coming out now, out of the woodworks. Because they're saying, like, you know, she may be gone, but the still work need to be done. And so I guess they're gonna look at us the same way she looked at James Baldwin, if y'all remember that conversation, that 2-part conversation she had with him. And the way she was kind of dismissive towards him. That's how they want to look at us. Or look at y'all.
Now this is some real fuckery right here.
You 30 years old. You 30 years old. I'm steady having to go through this with you. All I did was actually take the trash out.
I'm not taking no trash
You,
out.
you live here rent free. What you mean I don't need no damn man? Take out no garbage with my son living here rent free?
No, because I'm your son. I ain't asked to be in this. I ain't asked to be in this world.
Nigga, you 30 years old. What you mean you
What
ain't
the
asked
hell?
to be in this world? It's time for you to get up and do what you gotta do. It's been 30 years.
No, you ain't saying that when I dropped out of school at 12.
Boy.
Yeah, this is what happens when there's no man around. What? So
Wait a minute. It's a combination of no man around, but you raise the men you claim you don't like, but you raise the men. See, you don't raise the men you want to marry. You raise the type of men that you fucked.
Yep.
And you have their babies. So a lot of time when we're looking, it ain't just the way she raised them. She's having babies with these kind of motherfuckers.
If a black man has a baby, what type of baby is that baby gonna be?
First of all, are they gonna let him be able to raise that child? You know they're gonna do everything they do. No, they're gonna go out of their way to make sure and prove that he's an unfit parent. I mean, this isn't like what's his name? What is this?
For real. You always trying to throw some stuff in somebody's face. You know damn well you can take out that damn trash without arguing with me all the time.
My mama was my mama. I always say this every time. Every time I go over there, she treat me way better than you do.
You talking about the little boy that had to do 5 years in jail at 15?
So what?
The one that had to do 5 years in jail at 15? Because mama ain't do no good job of raising him. And look at you, still the beard. I'm going to say doing no good job either.
At the end of the day, look at you.
Yep, I ain't do no good job either.
You had me when you was 12.
Nigga, we living in a 6-bedroom house. We're living in a 6-bedroom
explains a
house.
lot.
Show me.
Stop playing with me.
Bedroom.
You only doing that because you see this camera out.
Show me 6 bedroom.
You're 30 years old.
But you pulled the camera out, bitch.
Yep.
Alexa, can you play a Second Childhood by Nas from the Stillmatic album?
Ladies, when your man asks you to pay half, you need to tell him no. You need to leave him. That's
Where's BGS when I need him? He can speak on this old heft.
You know what?
Tired old
That is some bullshit.
Yeah,
No, I'm gonna. Well, I gotta go with my old man voice since we got the already soul brother number 2 already driving his truck.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, you gotta look at some things, right? This is how dumb Miss Payne's World on YouTube is stating. Your dumb ass rather pay 100% than 50.
I was just getting ready to go there.
Your dumb ass might just be paying 25 because he might handle a little 25 off your ass. What did I tell you earlier? That what fucks women up is opening up their goddamn mouth. And you got this bag of bones, mummified motherfucker here, with all due respect as an elder, but you gotta be the dumbest motherfucker in captivity for selling women this shit.
That's what I say.
Misery likes company.
Because
She's
you
already
begin to
out the
pay
game.
half, you will always pay half for everything. These are men who don't want to be responsible for you. They really don't make the commitment, but you don't realize it. You just think that this is the way to do it so that you can survive together. If he cannot pay the bill to provide for you, then you don't need him.
And where's your husband?
Ladies, when your man
He
asks you
died
to
40
pay
years
half,
ago to
you
get rid of me.
Probably.
He died 40 years ago to get the fuck away from me.
No, he left 40 years ago to get away from this bitch.
Watch your motherfucking mouth. Get the fuck out my goddamn room. Your little grown motherfucking ass. Now you fucking ugly.
Oh boy.
God damn, she looked like the Hulk.
Straight up, fellas.
Ratchet.
There are days I thank God I don't have children. Because,
But we're the ones making them look bad, though, right?
Let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
Because I would be in jail. I would grab that bitch by the throat. I would be in jail. Talk to my child like that.
Watch your motherfucking mouth. Get the fuck out my goddamn room. Your little grown motherfucking ass.
Whose fault is that? You dumb bitch.
I don't like
but we're the ones making them look bad, right? Did somebody make her turn that camera on?
Nope.
And remember, she's doing it just to be narcissistic.
Attention whore.
And just a whore.
Let me ask y'all a question. Here's a question I gotta ask y'all. Have y'all any of y'all checked out that documentary called The Social Dilemma about how social media is fucking up everybody and shit?
Nope.
Especially with the algorithm and shit. It's on Netflix.
Well, you got stupid smartphones, stupid humans.
Hey, Tracy Morgan was the line when he said, "Technology just dumbing us down."
Actually, the correct term is your smartphone is dumb too. The only difference between programming a smartphone and a computer is the chipset.
Yeah.
Smart people program your apps. That's the only reason you have. That's the only reason why your phone is smart, quote unquote smart.
That's true.
I mean,
That's why I remember it was Uncle Charlie Wilson said
You
this. He
can't
says
expect no woman to want to follow
Oh,
your
go ahead.
lead if you don't know how to lead correctly. I'm talking about like you don't know how to lead properly, okay? I'm talking about like you ain't got your shit together for one. Okay, so that automatically ain't gonna make her follow your lead, okay? You ain't handling business the right way, but you expect her to follow your lead. She's
Then
not
why are
gonna
you
follow
with him?
your lead and you ain't handling business the right way. She can't follow your lead if she's worrying and she's stressing about bills and shit like that. She'll never follow your lead, okay? You got to properly lead a woman in order for her to follow. I'm talking about straight, complete alpha man, all right? You handling the business, you making sure she good, you making sure the household good. She ain't needing or wanting for shit, and she ain't worrying or stressing. Then, look, you can't expect.
I know, baby. I asked you a question, but you just went your thrown it. You know, you thrown it. You thrown it. Yeah.
That's enough of that.
Yeah, thank you. I was just barely over my limit, you know.
Look, I'm gonna tell you something, man. What these chicks ain't getting is that we see all the bullshit. They always want to call it excuses when black men are talking, giving reasons for our problems, right? But they're coming up with excuses all the time. Well, a woman ain't gonna follow your lead if you ain't handling business. Then why are you with him? Why would you be with somebody whose lead you can't follow?
And what do you mean by
Why
handling
would you have a
business?
baby by somebody? Why would you have a baby with somebody, whatever she means? Why would you have a baby with someone whose lead you can't follow? Because you still have babies with you, dude. Intentionally, too. Because he's cute. Or because you like his swagger. Or because he's dangerous. And you like that.
So I got a series
Or he's
of
light
issues
skinned and
with
got good
these black
hair.
male podcasters. And a question for the black male audience that subscribe to those. So I got a series.
Oh, yeah, I'll probably do this on Saturday too, but
Question for these black male podcasters, and a question for the black male audience that subscribe to those content creators. You find so many issues and critiques and criticisms of black women.
Yes.
Just constantly bashing black women and all these issues with black women. But when are y'all gonna have an issue with the issues that black women deal with? When are y'all gonna have an issue with the mortality rate of black women? Did you know black women are 3 times likely to die during childbirth?
Yeah, stop having kids after 30.
Yeah, that's the only reason why.
Stop having kids out of wedlock.
Due to
And find credible OBGYNs while you're at it.
And implicit bias. Did you know that? Do you know that black women is the top leading demographic of people missing? We got over 100,000 black women missing.
Nope, they're not.
Cars being.
Who's the top demographic, Charles?
Who's the top demographic homeless?
Oh, black men. Never mind.
Found in parking garages, random gas stations. They wiped off the face of the earth, never to be seen again. When y'all gonna get mad at that? When y'all gonna find an issue with that?
Here's my question. When the fuck are black men in a better spot? Black women usually find themselves missing. Why? Who's the most dangerous creature to black women? It ain't black men, it's black women.
Yep. Which brings me to my next point. Is something he neglected to mention. When are you? You want us to address black women's fine? When are we going to address the fact the only reason some of our young girls get sexually assaulted is because the mamas cover it up? Oh, y'all don't want to talk about that, do you?
Oh yeah,
because the mamas usually vote. Oh, go ahead.
How many black families do you see where the whole family will have a fucking grandfather or uncle molesting the kids?
Yep.
And because she want to go out but won't tell the father.
Ooh.
I wonder why she won't.
Also, she can retain custody of the child. Let the child be harmed so she can continue to go out. She's not putting the child. It's not like she finds out and then puts the child in a safer environment. Often, she will put the child in a more dangerous environment because it's all about her.
When are y'all gonna get mad at the fact that one of the top leading causes of death of black women is domestic violence?
That's wrong.
That's not true either.
Not true.
That's
Not even
wrong
true.
because here's another statistic from FBI, you bastard. Number one, when it comes to domestic violence, 70% of the time, the woman is the aggressor.
And she initiates it.
At the hand of a weak man.
Oh, you mean weak simps like you? See, that's the other thing y'all don't want to talk about. A lot of these women be getting unalived by males. They're usually weak simps like you that do that. Not
And
men.
usually she initiates it and throws him over the edge and dares him to harm her. And she just chips and hold on. She keeps chipping and chipping and chipping and chipping away at his masculinity, causing him to snap. What do you think? What do you think? A lot of them just like have a breaking point. People forget men can snap too.
His feelings.
Well, males can
Unalives her.
snap.
When y'all gonna get mad and throw y'all pacifier across the room on these podcasts about that? But y'all sit on these podcasts in your hot chair with your bib on.
Why don't you come to these podcasts and actually fucking make up? Show me your stats. Show me your stats. Show me your stats.
This is a guy who wouldn't talk like this to men in their face.
Show me your stats. Show me your fucking stats. We got so many motherfuckers who are experts in their field. Fucking prior service, police officers, people who have fucking degrees up the ass. And you're going to tell me our fucking lying, our eyes are lying to us, right?
Here's a question. When he says black podcast content, who's he talking about?
Us.
Is he talking about us or is he talking about someone else and trying to make a false equivalence? I would not be surprised.
To them, we're all one big nigga.
Yeah, you know they're gonna pigeonhole us as one big nigga. They try to make us one monolith when that's not always the case. There's some people in this space out here who are not part of the manosphere, but they try to wrongfully associate them with it, even though they make it clear that they're not part of this shit. Not to mention they're probably gonna associate the grifters as well, and say this is an example of what we're talking about. These motherfuckers, no. I'm not naming names.
And
even though there is a certain.
Don't say no goddamn fresh and fit. We tired of that.
Let me explain something to you, Charles. You think you got it fucked up with how they are? I got it pretty fucked up, considering one of them comes from next door where I'm from. And don't get me started because I've been around those kinds of people, the people of his nationality.
Before we get out, I gotta.
Yeah, thank you.
No, keep going.
Thank you.
Keep going.
You want me to keep going?
Yeah.
I'm from because I'm from that same region as they are from. Okay, I've got people I got members of my family, friends of the family who are from there. I grew up around people like that, so I know the stereotypes. And this little motherfucker lives up to that stereotype. And the motherfuckers over in Montreal, don't get me started on them either. All right, because he's no different. Because the East African half of that one, he's no different either. Because because y'all don't know how they get down. And that's the stuff. And that dude lives up to a certain stereotype where I'm from, and other brethren across the border are from. So I know that bullshit. I can see when they talk, the way they act, and everything. I know that bullshit because we all got some relatives like that. Make me want to knock them the fuck out. Don't make me want to bring this back to the 1880s, motherfuckers. Y'all remember how we all went down?
Yeah, now this is. I certainly hope Valdez doesn't mind, but I got to show this clip. The brick lady was dumb enough to pull up on Anton Daniels?
Hey, oh my God, Ray said, "AM, the brick lady is on Anton panel right now." Get you bugging out of here. Hold on, we got
Fuck Anton, by the way.
real quick. No, you gotta do this that real quick, bro. Hold on, there's no way, fam. There's no way.
You didn't hear what I was about to say. You didn't hear what I was about to say.
Black women don't have that.
You didn't hear what I was about to say.
Sure.
You really need to look up the statistics with regard to the Innocence Project. And with regard to the Innocence Project, there are men every single day that either cop out or they're just now being freed because the technology that we have today has just caught up to where we can actually test to realize that there are a lot of people that were incentivized to lie on men, whether it be because, like, I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. And I always like to cite this example because this is an antithesis of what you're preaching. The woman that accused the Duke lacrosse team of raping him, she was lying. She lied beautifully. And here's the worst part about it. Nobody came back and apologized to the lacrosse team. And all of those guys' reputations were ruined. They got kicked out of school. There's men that get arrested, removed from their job because they have no retribution. Nobody ever gives the...
And if I'm not mistaken, Charles, didn't she get charged later for killing one of her boyfriends or something?
Yes.
Wait a minute, Duke lacrosse. The majority of them were white.
And guess who was the first person to jump on the bandwagon? A certain somebody who was saying they should be fired from a certain news. They should be fired from a certain
And it
news.
doesn't mean that it's not things that happen to people. But I don't like it when people then generalize and say to believe all women, because that would mean to automatically demonize somebody else, because
No,
the way that the justice
also...
system is supposed to work is that it's innocent until proven guilty. But when you say believe all women, if women was believable, we wouldn't have to preach it.
That's a fact.
We wouldn't have to preach it.
But how come?
I see women lie every single day. Every day. People,
I see men lie every single day.
People lie.
People
lie. I am never going to give. Okay, so what space
do you create for a victim? What space?
Is she really up there preaching about somebody lying?
These men get held accountable for lying. Men get held accountable and punished for lying. I don't know what she's talking about. When men lie and when men lie and do something stupid, we get punished. That's the difference between her and men, especially black men. When we do something goofy, we get punished. And then after we go through the punishment, we have to prove to society that, we ain't gonna do what we was doing in the past.
Facts.
Ryan Banks, anybody?
I got 3 brothers and I have 1 daughter.
Okay. I also will agree. Here's my thing. As a person who has experience, it's hard not to speak from experience. I do think that when women are,
You mean experience being a flat out liar? That's only experience you really got.
AB?
Yeah.
As far as this heifer it goes, bruh, be glad I'm Eritrean and not Ethiopian. That's all I'm going to say about it. That's all I'm going to say about it.
And in other words, y'all would have done. Okay, let me shut up.
There's a way. I think that, especially a black woman, should never go to social media. If you've been assaulted, don't ever go to social media. Never, ever, ever.
Oh, you're one to talk.
Never do that. I totally agree with that. But the system doesn't advocate for women too. Like as a black woman walking into a police station.
Even the sisters on the panel like, really, this bitch saying that? Really?
You're the only ones that system advocates for.
I'm bitter and I'm not scorned. I am deeply heartbroken. I'm deeply heartbroken because what happened to me was brutal, and to happen to your own community.
You got hit with a water bottle. Shut up.
It was brutal because
she got hit with a water bottle.
By who?
Some
dude she was arguing with. She got hit with a water bottle.
Guess what? I'm a person who has advocated for our black community forever. I think everything I've done around.
Wait.
You don't.
Our black community? You are not of them. You fucking liar,
sweetheart, and you don't know what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. They probably disowned her, but
it was a brutal thing that I went through, and this guy laughed about it.
Offended at everything. You keep introducing yourself into the conversation in your own personal situation. So when I then speak to it, then that makes it valid. I never asked you your personal situation. I was speaking.
He brought it up. You know what you're doing right now? You're negating the fact that I came here prepared to have an adult conversation about a topic that was at hand.
The reason why you get the type of energy that you get.
For me not to react to my trauma is crazy. First of all, I have done a lot of
care about your trauma.
I can tell that you don't care.
I don't care about your trauma. And what you don't.
I can tell you don't care.
Hold on.
I can tell you don't care.
Get back to it, y'all.
But we're not going to act like I came here to have a conversation about the topic that you want to have and to add an intellectual level. I don't have a problem. You don't know what problems I have. You don't know me.
I know it because I'm paying attention to what you interacting with me right now. I'm speaking on what my personal interaction with you in this short amount of time is.
What's your negating? What's your negating? Okay, so let me talk about the worst thing that ever happened to you. Laugh about it, and then when you react to it, be like, "Oh, you know what? This is the problem that you have." You're negating what you.
All right, do we really need to listen to more of this?
No, she's batshit crazy.
Yeah, we already know what it is. I mean, think about the audacity of this bitch when everybody knows that she was fucking lying, right? Think of the audacity. Think of what it would take. Think of the audacity it would take to then get on a public platform speaking of men being liars. Bitch, are you serious? You're about to get a man possibly sent to prison saying he hit you in the face with a brick when really you already just got some sort of fucking problem with your goddamn body. Because a water bottle didn't do that to you unless it was frozen.
Yeah.
A water bottle's not going to do that to you.
Yeah. But by the way, AB, she's not batshit crazy. She's Somali. Somali women are known to be combative like this. They're very confrontational, very combative. This is why this is. Dude, let me say one thing you got to understand about Somalis. And there's also an ethnicity called the Afars, who you find in Eritrea, Ethiopia, and Djibouti.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike the Semitic Highlanders, these Cushitic lowlanders are not known to be hospitable to people. They are fiercely independent and oftentimes suspicious of outsiders. And they're known to be. I mean, Somalia is a complete disaster. You know, I mean, there's no ethnic loyalty; it's clan-based, and the women are known to be quite combative. You don't want to get into it with one of them. You don't want to get an argument with one of them. If you get into an argument with one of them, immediately you're going to see about 10, 20 men, whether or not they're of her clan or not, just stand up and they're going to look at you. The only reason I've never had a problem like this is because, one, I often get mistaken for one of them. But when they realize I'm Eritrean, they're like, "Hey, we cool. But if I was an Ethiopian, then there's going to be some problems.
Well, see, the problem though is that she's in ADOS spaces. We're not, going into their society. She's over here and still not humble. And here's the thing: she knows it's been proven. She knows that it's been proven that she's a fucking liar, and still won't humble herself. That's why I think she's crazy.
Yeah. But like I said, they double down like this. This is how they are. They're fiercely stubborn like this. It's like dealing with an ornery mule. I mean, there's some ones who are some decent ones, the ones who are raised upright, but there's some who are raised in the dysfunction. And that's a lot of them because of what happened to their homeland. So this is what you get, especially when they're exposed to all kinds of negative shit.
Yeah, fellas, I'm about to shut down now.
Thank you for having me, AB.
Everybody that came through.
Take it easy, AB.
Hopefully, everybody come for the late night edition with Charles Faulkner Jr.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a call in a little bit, Charles. This is AB Media 83, and I'm out. Peace. Yo, this is AB Media 83. Want to support the channel? Hit the Cash App. Also, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the video. Also, be sure to hit that bell notification so you can be notified next time I upload a live stream or video. And always remember, keep it grinding, keep it pushing, keep it moving. This is AB Media 83, and I'm out. Peace.